Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, ISKCON's founder Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jai Shri Gaura Anita, Shri Radha Govardhana, Krishna Balaram Giri Govardhana ki jai, Vrinda Devi, Tulsi Devi Marani, little Dhamma Mother Yashoda ki jai, Gopastami ki jai, Shri Dhananjay Pandit ki jai, disappearance day today, Shri Srinivasacharya ki jai, and one more. Gadaradas Goswami. the disappearance day today. So Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. So we're going to do a Speedy Gonzales everything. So, because we do want to go and feed those bulls before they eat the tree down. We put them in the Brahmacharya ashram for a trial run a couple of days ago. You can imagine how that went. It was a nice, beautiful orchard. Now it looks like a World War III's been through there. But anyway, that's what they do. They like to eat. Today we quickly mention these three personalities we mention every year on this day. Is Dhananjaya Pandit's his disappearance today. He was a special associate of Nityananda Prabhu. His eternal relationship, I guess, in the spiritual, in the Krishna Leela, is a cowherd boy, one of the 12 principal cowherd boys. So he chose today to return to his eternal pastimes. And also Sri Gadadhara Pandit, which is Sri Gadadhara Das Goswami, I should say. He's not the same Gadadhara that's in the Panchatattva. He's another extraordinary personality and associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He also went with Nityananda Prabhu to West Bengal and preached. He was famous for delivering the Kazis with an S. One year, Ambika Mataji will get you to give this class, because it's nice to hear properly about these extraordinary personalities. Anyway, so he would knock on, his preaching program was just, he would request people to chant Hare Krishna. Simple. Are you? Chant Hare Krishna. See? It works. And he would do that. So he went to the Kazi one late evening one night and knocked on his door, and the Kazi sort of a little bit upset. Someone knocked on his door, but Gadadhara Das Goswami was such a soft-hearted devotee that he melted his heart. He said, yes, what can I do for you? He said, please chant Hare Krishna. He said, do you know what time it is? Come back tomorrow and I'll chant Hare Krishna tomorrow. You've chanted! You've chanted! And he was, begin! So that was his mood in preaching and delivering the conditioned souls. He's also the incarnation of the effulgence of Srimati Radharani. And nice. Everything in the spiritual world has personality. There's no odd bits up there. It's all transcendental and full of consciousness. So that's, and then the other one is, what did I say? Srinivasacharya, is that correct? Disappearance. He's one of our great heroes of our Sangatar mission. Him and his ashram buddies, you could say, Srila Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Prabhu, they're under the great care and instructions of Srila Jiva Goswami at the sacred Sri Radha Damodar Mandir, where also our dear Srila Prabhupada began his mission. It's such a sacred place. And from there, before them, the Goswamis were penning the Bhakti Shastras, extraordinary writings to enliven Vaishnavas from now to the end of the universe. As such extraordinary writings. So but in this generation, which came after, they were asked to take the books out. And famously, they loaded up the bullock cart. I think it was 2 bullock carts, or bullock cart with 4 bulls, 10 guards, and they were going to go to Bengal, and the books were going to be duplicated and I guess published. That's how they published in those days. So these are, I won't tell you the rest of the story because we're running out of time, but the books got stolen, as we hear every year, and they got recovered. See? On the bookshelf. So it's their transcendental disappearance today, and we offer our deep respects and love to them. And if you have some time today, please look them up and hear their transcendental activities. So now we'll read a quick verse on Gopastami, and then we'll say a few words, and then we're going to feed the bulls. So this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 15, text number 1. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I'll try and chant it once, and we'll get one of our Prabhus and one of our dear Vaishnavis, and we'll keep the show on the road. Sri Shukobacha Tatascha Poganda Baye Shrito Braje Babu Vatusto Pasu Palasamato Gascharyanto Sakibi Samanpade Vrindavanam Punyam Ativa Chakatu. Tatascha Poganda Bayeshito Raje Babu Vatusto Pasupalasamatu Starianto Sakibi Samanpade Vrindavanam Punyamati Vichakatu. You can do it together if you want. Go ahead. That's the Poganda Vayeshita Pabu Vatusto Pasupala Samato Kastayanto Sakibi Samanpade Vrindavanam Punyamati Translation this is by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. This is the 15th chapter. Srila Prabhupada finished at the 13th chapter. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami said, please repeat. When Lord Brahma and Lord Krishna, did I say Brahma or Rama? Rama. Lord Rama and Lord Krishna attained the age of Poganda, which is 6 to 10, while living in Vrindavan. The cowherd men allowed them to take up the task of tending the cows. Engaging thus in the company of their friends, the two rendered the land of Vrindavan most auspicious by imprinting upon it the marks of their lotus feet. You might be able to tell I'm a little tired today. Purport. Lord Krishna wanted to encourage his cowherd boys who had been swallowed by Aghasura and then stolen by Lord Brahma. Therefore, the Lord decided to bring them into the palm tree forest called Talavan, where there were many delicious ripe fruits. Since Lord Krishna's spiritual body had apparently grown slightly in age and strength, the senior men of Vrindavan, headed by Nanda Maharaj, decided to promote Krishna from the task of herding calves to the status of a regular cowherd boy. He would now take care of the full-grown cows, bulls and oxen. Out of great affection, Nanda Maharaj had previously considered Krishna too small and immature to take care of the full-grown cows and bulls. It is stated in the Kartika Mahatmya section of the Padma Purana, Suklastami Kartiketu Smrita Gopastami Bude Tad Dinat Vasudevu Bud Gopa Puvantu Vatsapaha. Quote, the 8th lunar day of the bright fortnight of the month of Kartik is known by authorities as Gopastami. From that day, Lord Vasudeva served as a cowherd, whereas previously he had tended the calves. Close quote. The word Pade indicates that Lord Krishna blessed the earth by walking on her surface with his lotus feet. Lord wore no shoes or other foot gear, but walked barefoot in the forest, giving great anxiety to the girls of Vrindavan, who feared that his soft lotus feet would be injured. Translation again. Sukadeva Goswami said, when Lord Ram and Lord Krishna attained the age of Poganda, 6 to 10, while living in Vrindavan, the cowherd men allowed them to take up the task of tending the cows. Engaging thus in the company of their friends, the two boys rendered the land of Vrindavan most auspicious by imprinting upon it the marks of their lotus feet. Om Ganati Mirandasya Ganam Ganam Salakaya Saksu Sumilitan Jena Tasme Shiguruvena Maha Banchaka Paturubishya Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnava Namo Namaha. Thank you very kindly for being here on this auspicious day. So this is the actual day when Krishna comes of age and gets to tend the cows. So normally this is quite a bigger festival, but somehow or other we decided to go from 7 a.m. to 8:30. But on this day, the whole community of Vrindavan, especially very popular in Vrindavan, it's a day that you engage in cow seva. You wash the cows, you brush them, you clean out all their stalls, and you feed them, and you decorate them, and the whole. I mean, cows are sacred all the time, but on these particular days, there's more attention paid to them. I'll just read you. I'd like to read something from Srila Prabhupada since he's not in this purport. I don't even know what I've got here. Okay, this is from the Nectar Devotion. This is after Kali had been severely punished and asked to leave. Krishna said at that time that the cows are worshipped even by the demigods, and he practically demonstrated how to protect the cows. At least people who are in Krishna consciousness should follow in his footsteps and give all protection to the cows. Cows are worshipped not only by the demigods. Krishna himself worshipped the cows on several occasions, especially on the days of Gopastami and Govardhana Puja. So festival organisers, keep that in mind. Those 2 days, especially in the Krishna book. And now I'll read this because this gives you an idea how deep the cow culture is in Vrindavan and how special the cows are. This is from Srila Prabhupada's Krishna book, chapter 6. When the gopis saw little Krishna fearlessly playing on Putana's lap, they very quickly came and picked him up. This is after Putana had passed away. Mother Yasoda, Rohini and other elderly gopis immediately performed the auspicious rituals by taking the tail of a cow and circumambulating his body. Pretty nice, eh? The child was completely washed with the urine of a cow, and the dust created by the hooves of the cows was thrown all over his body. This was all just to save Lord Krishna from future inauspicious accidents. This incident gives us a clear indication of how important the cow is to the family, society, and to living beings in general. The transcendental body of Krishna did not require any protection, but to instruct us on the importance of the cow, the Lord was smeared all over with cow dung, washed with the urine of a cow, and sprinkled with the dust upraised by the walking of the cows. Very nice, eh? Who wants to be bathed like that? Do you? It's a different culture. So we, unfortunately, I mention this every year, but we are highly influenced by the Western culture, which is basically cows as a white bottle and Coles or a hamburger at McDonald's. That's basically the concept of cows. People are so disconnected with the cows, but they're a very integral part of civilized, advanced society. If you read in the Padma Purana, Lord Brahma speaking to Narada said to him at the beginning of creation, the very beginning, there was 4 things put in place. And he says if those 4 things weren't put in place, the whole universe would have gone into ruination. Interesting, huh? So those 4 things are the Vedas, fire, cows, and Brahmins. So just that's another thing to remember. So cows have been around in civilization since the beginning of the beginning. It's not that they were once, wild creatures and someone decided to grab one and play with its tits and some milk came out and they made some ice cream. It's not like that. It's eternally they are domesticated, protected creatures. So cows are very needy. They need to be looked after. They create havoc on their own. We saw in the Brahmacharya ashram, they should have been taken away for the night and housed, like Krishna does every night. He brings them in and out the next day. We left them out during the night in the orchard and they told us what they thought. They gave the trees a super trim or prune, extra pruning, we should say. Plenty of free fertiliser everywhere as well. But anyway, so we're a little bit not fully developed yet in our culture of cow protection, especially in our Western temples, because it's just something that we're not used to. We've got this disassociation with cows. There's just these things you drive past in the paddocks and get trucked off to the slaughterhouse with. We don't know who they are, what their names are, their personalities, and we don't serve them. Here at least we have Krishna's herd. These cows are very special because they're actually the deity's cows. They're not just ordinary cows, they're Radha Govardhana's cows. So as much as possible, the residents of not just of New Govardhana, of the whole area, if you can come and do some service for the cows, it'd be much appreciated. We've got a very small crew of volunteers, and we can't keep up with it. There's just too much to care for them properly based on minimum standards given by the GBC. We're not able to do that. So more help is needed. So today is, I like to always go back in this past time. I'll speak very quickly now because we're out of time. We'll go back to Gokul, Mahavan Gokul. There was quite a lot of disturbances there. Prabhupada writes in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavatam, 10th canto, and the cowherd men gathered, and one of the most senior elderly cowherd men, Upananda, who I believe also is mentioned as Nanda Maharaj's older brother sometimes, unless they're two different people. They met up and they said, this place is not safe. We've had the Putana witch, then we had the hand cart that almost crushed the boys, then Trinivata took him up into the sky, and somehow, by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, our dear Krishna was saved. But it's very dangerous. And just recently too, these massive twin Arjun trees came crashing down, and the boys were nearby, and luckily, by Krishna's grace, by Lord Vishnu's grace, Krishna almost got quite squashed, so they thought. So they decided maybe we should move away from here. And Upananda said, I know this really nice place between here, Mahavan Gokul and Nandeshvara. It's about halfway along called Vrindavan. It's a beautiful, on the other side of the Jamuna, and we'll be a bit further away from all these demons. And there the grasses are very lush, and the river Jamuna flows, and there's this extraordinary hill called Govardhana. So, and they all said yes, good idea. And Prabhupada writes, there and then that very day, they gathered their bullock carts and they packed up all their things, just like that. It's not that easy to do, but they did it. They packed up all their things, and the description is so beautiful. All the younger children and the ladies rode on the carts, and all the cows were at the front of the procession, and all the cowherd men had their bows and arrows for protection, and off they went. And they had to travel north, sort of quite a bit further than what Vrindavan would. They passed where Vrindavan was on the other side, but there's nowhere to cross. They went up to, was it Badrivan? Yeah, I think it's one of these places. And then most of them got across, except for some of the cows couldn't get across, so they went a little bit further up to Badrivan, crossed over, came back down, and arrived in Vrindavan. And boy, they were excited, especially Krishna Balaram, because they could see the Jamuna, they could see Govardhana Hill, right? And they were in that beautiful forest of Vrindavan. And it's described by Prabhupada and our acharyas that night they set up camp. They made like a half moon, sort of set up with their bullock carts, and behind them they had thorny bushes, and they all camped out for the night, their first night in Vrindavan. So very nice. So then, as time, Krishna, as mentioned, he's getting a bit older now, becoming a bit more independent. He was getting to the point, he didn't want his mother to dress him anymore. She'd start dressing him, and he'd grab the clothes and run off and finish dressing himself. He was becoming a big boy now. He's 3 years and 4 months when he left Gokul, but his body, it's described, these personalities of greatness, they age 1.5 times at the pace of normal people. So he had a body of about a 5-year-old going on to 6, like that. And he wanted to go out with Nanda Maharaj and herd the cows, and sometimes he'd go out, and Mother Yasoda wasn't happy because the cows are so big, their horns are massive, they can hurt them, they're just little boys. So she decided they shouldn't go out. So that was not very happily received by Krishna and Balaram. And after some time, they started running away, trying to chase Nanda Maharaj and the cows, and they got lost, and they ended up just going somewhere with their friends and playing, and then found their way back, and that became more anxiety for Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yasoda, because now they're running away into the forest by themselves. So they call all the senior men and that used to go see, and they decided they would let them herd the calves. So this is before Gopastami, and there was a nice festival, initiation. And the beauty about herding the calves, they don't go out for as long and they don't go very far. The mothers can bring them their lunches, they know where they are. There was like a compromise like that. So, and they were initiated, and they were given 4 things. I ask you the same question every year. What 4 things were they given an initiation, calf initiation? Rope, yes. 1, stick. Buffalo horn. Flute. No, we missed one. We say rope? Yeah, rope. You have to have a rope. So have the rope for tying the cows at milking. They have the buffalo horns for herding and communicating, and then they have, what is the other one? Obviously the flute. They all had flutes, not just Krsna. They're all excellent musicians, the cowherd boys. They also made beautiful garlands. It's described in some place they made better garlands than the gopis. What can you do? And they were so expert they could run along and watch the cows, play the flute and make garlands at the same time. You try and do that, gopis. So anyway, so on this day, then Krsna was so happy they'd go out with his friends, and so that went on for some time. But after a little while, Nanda Maharaj noticed that Krsna was going off to the side and speaking to his uncles, because Nanda Maharaj, I think it was 5 brothers all together. There was a bit of quiet whispering going on, and Nanda could notice. And then he went and finally asked his brothers what he is talking about. How come it's so secretive? No one wanted to say anything. But eventually the younger brother opened his mouth and told Nanda, he said, Krsna wants to herd the cows. And immediate anxiety for Nanda again and Mother Yasoda. They didn't know what to do. But then there was a bigger problem. What was that problem? The cows somehow heard about it, got the wind of it. And then they started going on strike. They wouldn't leave their stalls because they wanted Krsna Balaram to take them out. So it became an emergency. They gathered the astrologers, found an auspicious day. There was one the very next day. Another big ceremony, bigger than the last one, second initiation. The first one, they became vatsalas, herders of calves. Now they're going to become gopalas, I guess. Gopas, excuse me. So initiation took place. And this time Nanda Maharaj gave Krsna a beautiful diamond-studded stick, very gorgeous stick. Mother Yasoda anointed Krsna with protective tilak and chanted mantras and so on. And I should say also, quickly going back, because we're 20 minutes behind now, when they first went out with the calves, there was a concern about Krishna's feet. We all know this pastime. So the Jiva Goswami reveals it to us. And mother, when he first went out, Mother Yasoda had some shoes for him, and we know Krishna refused to wear the shoes. How can I wear shoes? The cows are not wearing shoes. They are worshipable cows. If you want me to wear shoes, you have to get shoes for all my cows. All my cows. So who's good at math? 900,000 times 4? That's right, and that's without even mentioning the bulls. I heard recently there was twice as many bulls as cows. There was 900,000 cows and 1.8 million bulls. So it's a big shoe order, that one. So anyway, so he refused. So Mother Bhumi, who was going to be the recipient of Krishna's lotus feet, touching her sacred land there of Vrindavan, she got on board with the cows, and they went out the cows and they crushed all the pebbles and thorns. They just went at it like anything. And it's a lot of cows. They turned it all into beautiful fine dust. And I didn't bring any today. Sometimes I bring it along. But it's very beautiful soft dust. So that way, when Krishna would go out, it'd be, and then as mentioned, his beautiful footprints would be left behind. And why were the footprints always visible at all times? It's described because everybody knew they were Krishna's footprints. So the people, animals, birds, the wind, no one would disturb these footprints. And so the whole land was beautifully decorated constantly with Krishna's lotus footprints. And as he got older, those prints became more prominent. So now he's going to herd the cows. I'm going to finish on this point. So he, at the ceremony, they're about to go. Now you have to understand, this is very difficult for Mother Yasoda and the gopis, because now it's not like the calves. Now they're going to go out all day from sunrise to sunset. Krishna goes out 12 hours a day with the cows. He spends more time with the cows than practically anybody else. Not only that, in the Gopal Champu, he inspects the cows before they go out in the morning. So even before the sun's up, Krishna's looking over his cows. They're very devoted to the cows. They're sacred, and it's a dear mother, and the whole Vrindavan is a cow culture. Anyway, and then even in the afternoon when they get back, Krishna personally counts them all to make sure nobody got left behind. He has his beads and he counts them. Prabhupada describes that in the Bhagavatam. And then they tend to them. And we know the cowboys are very hungry, but they tend to the cows first, and they're all housed at night time and protected. So this is a system that hopefully we'll have in place one day here, where we bring the cows home and the bulls every day, and they're sheltered and protected from the weather and everything else. And that way the Brahmachari Ashram orchard will live on. So they're about to go out herding. They reach the outskirts of the village, and Mother Yasoda is there. Mother Yasoda is there. She goes to crouch down to hug Krishna, and he says, "No, Mata, you stand up. I'm a big boy now." Right? I'm a big boy. He dresses himself and everything. So he reaches up, and they have this beautiful hug. And then Krishna notices, he looks up at Mother Yasoda. She's looking behind him. And behind Krishna is all the cows. Can you picture that? These beautiful cows, Sarabi cows. And they're all facing outwards with their heads turning towards Krishna. It's a very beautiful scene. So we can imagine as best we can. You've got these unlimited cows, all with their heads turned, looking around. Mother Yasoda is looking at the cows. Krishna looks up, sees Mother Yasoda looking somewhere else. Then he turns his head. How beautiful is that scene now? So you've got Krishna's transcendental head around, the cows are looking, and the cows look at him and go, "Let's go, it's our turn now." So at that moment he lets go of Mother Yasoda. And some of our acharyas said that's the very moment of Gopastami. Krishna lets go Mother Yasoda. Now they've begun all day long, running around and playing and stealing and eating. They eat a lot. They have these tiffin boxes, Prabhupada describes them as, packed up, and sometimes Krishna puts his spell on them, so when they get to the bottom of them, they fill up again. So they can eat. And there's unlimited fruits in the forest, ripe all year round, and if they need any more, they know what to do. They go and sneak around and steal a bit of yogurt and butter. So and they look after the cows all day long and bring them back. So the first day was particularly difficult because they sort of went for it like anything. And the boys were really concerned because Krishna was looking a bit tired. And they thought if we bring him home tired, Mother Yasoda is not going to want to let him out the next day. So then they started clowning around and joking, and then they chirped him up and he got home all happy and chirpy, and Mother Yasoda was happy. So there's another 2.5 hours worth of stuff I wanted to say, but now we're going to get up, and if you just go down the long ways there so that all the cows aren't gathered in one spot. Our volunteers out there, if you're still out there somewhere, we got some carrots and sweets. The electric fence will be turned off. It's a very auspicious day to feed a cow today. Just be careful of those big swinging horns, and watch your young children, right? And reach into the fence, otherwise they're going to start pushing through, okay? They don't have any top teeth, cows, by the way, so they're not going to bite you, but you've got to push it into their mouth, otherwise they'll just drop it. Okay, you're going to get a bit of goo on your hands, but that's okay. It's a very good hair product. You can put it into your hair like air gel, or give somebody a high five. Get rid of it one way or the other. But so, Sri Gopastami ki jai. And Krishna was initiated on this day. His name was given Gopal. Yes, Gopal. He became Gopal today. And Balaram, I've said this all the time, was also initiated. Prabhupada was asked what his initiation name was for Balaram. He said, he's the plough boy. Prabhupada said, he's the plough boy. Halada. He is the plough holder. So that's him. So that today is that transcendental anniversary. Please get up, give him a scratch and feed him, and be careful with those horns. Don't get hurt. And thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna. One day we'll make it a bigger, longer festival. And here's some ecstatic pastimes. I tell you, there's some beauties. And the Gopal Champu says, if you had millions of ears, thousands of mouths, you couldn't recite one day of the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram and the cowherd boys. So much happens. So much. Gauranga. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur.